Nothing beats homemade meatballs, and these will literally melt in your mouth. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another cooking video. As you guys saw from the preview, today I'm making meatballs. I never made them before. I've been wanting to make them for a long time. So what I did was I got on TikTok like anybody else and here on YouTube, and I did a little research of different ways that like people been making it. So I'm gonna make it with a little twist. I don't know if I want to smother them, or I don't know if I just want to like saute them. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out along the way. But right now I'm going to show you guys how I'm prepping the ground turkey, because we're making ground turkey meatballs today. So let's get into it. One of the main things that I've been seeing is that people have been mixing the breadcrumb and some heavy whipping cream, but I got evaporated milk because I can never find heavy whipping cream at the Aldi's by my house, and I'm not going to a different store. Maybe I'll start doing that later, but I'm going to mix this. So we're going to take half a cup of these breadcrumbs and half a cup of this evaporated milk, and we're going to mix it and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and we're just going to put that to the side. We're doing this before we add it to the meat with all the other ingredients, because according to the grandmas on TikTok and here on YouTube, it holds the meat better, and I do not want the first time that I make meatballs for my meatballs to fall apart. So that's what I'm about to do now. Alrighty, like I said, we're doing one half of a cup of breadcrumbs and 1/2 of a cup of milk. I guess you're supposed to be adding 1 cup of breadcrumbs and 1 cup of milk per 2 pounds, but I'm only doing about 1.5 pounds, so I'm only just gonna do 1/2 of a cup of breadcrumbs and milk. Other people say not to add that much milk, but I'm following the recipes from the elders because they've been cooking for a long time and their food be banking. So alrighty, so we have our I wanted to get this out of the way now so it can be sitting, so later on I'm not waiting for this to do whatever it's supposed to do. But like I said, I'm just following recipes from those that have perfected their craft throughout the year. It's a combination of all. So if you guys do your meatballs differently, just let me know in the comments. I have my seasonings here. I have 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of that powdered chicken bouillon from Goya, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of dry parsley, and 1 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning. And this we're going to add to the meat later. I was just showing you guys because I am going to use the same teaspoon that I used for that, because ain't nobody trying to do dishes all day. Just kidding, I'm putting everything in my dishwasher. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this. And we're just gonna let it sit on the side for 5 minutes, or until we got everything else ready, and then we're going to mix it together. Alrighty, now that we got this out of the way, I'm going to get some garlic, some fresh parsley, and I couldn't find a green bell pepper at Aldi's, but we're just gonna use regular colored bell peppers, probably red or yellow, and also 1/2 an onion. Alright, so now we got some parsley that I just washed, and we're about to chop this up. It doesn't really specify how much parsley. I think it's just to your liking. If you don't want to add fresh parsley, you don't have to. A lot of recipes that I've seen actually did not include parsley, but I just wanted to include it because I like the taste of parsley. But I'm just gonna chop this up a little bit better. Also, if I didn't tell you guys before, I'm not a chef. Nobody really taught me how to cook. I used to see my grandma and my aunt cooking all the time when I was younger. I just be coming up with stuff. And if you read my bio, I'm just a girl literally playing in my kitchen. I just like to try different things and mix things together to see if they're going to taste good. So that's literally what you've been seeing throughout my whole channel. Alrighty. This might be a lot, but we'll save it for later because like I said, I don't know if I want to smother it or do like a creamy sauce with my parsley. We'll figure that out later. We got some fresh garlic and we're going to mince it. Also, it doesn't specify how much garlic. I'm just going to take a couple cloves and I'm just going to go ahead and mince it. And if you guys watch my baked feta pasta, you know that I love cooking with garlic. I like eating garlic. I just don't like chewing into garlic, but I love adding garlic to any recipe that I can. So we're going to go ahead and mince this garlic really quick. If you guys didn't know or haven't seen this, the quickest way to peel garlic, I will recommend using a bigger knife and make sure the knife is facing that way. That way when you do this, it doesn't cut you, but voila. Now it just peels easy. You don't gotta fight with it, and it literally works every single time I do it. So that's a little trick. Or if the garlic is being nice like this one, it might just come off. But most of the time I'm fighting with garlic and I'm not going to fight with my food. So I just go ahead and smash it and ta-da. Alrighty. And there we have it. I wanted to show you guys what I use to mince my garlic. I'm going to put the link to this for my Amazon storefront. It's going to be there. And I'm going to see if I can find these knives also on Amazon. I went and got them from Walmart, but I'm pretty sure Amazon has everything. But you just go ahead and like press on the garlic and it just minces it for you. I like to use a knife or a spoon to go ahead and get all the garlic out of there. And now you don't have to sit here and chop garlic for a whole 5 minutes. Just, you know, little tools to make your life easier. I was going to go with the red bell pepper, but I decided to just go with the yellow one. I really wish that I found a green one at Aldi's. They usually have it in like a 3-pack, but they didn't have that today. So I'm going to chop this up and then add it to this. And then we're going to do my least favorite part of cooking, chopping up an onion. So I'll show you guys once I have all of this chopped up. Alright guys, so we got our parsley, our yellow bell pepper, our minced garlic, our minced onion, our seasonings here. And I'm leaving this here because I might want to add a little bit more. I don't want to over flavor my meatballs because if I am going to cook it in the sauce will have a taste to it and I will have to season that as well. So I'm just trying to be careful here because like I said, I always wanted to try to make meatballs, but I thought it was like such a big process to it, and it's really not. It's simple. It kind of reminds me of like making meatloaf, and I also have a meatloaf video, so I will put that in the description below as well. So I feel like I'm going to end up making little meatloaf bites here. But we got all of this, and we also have our mixture of breadcrumb and milk. And maybe I should have never started this. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to remoisture this and figure it out because I don't like this. Look at this. But it's okay. Like I said, it's me learning how to cook, so everything is a process. We can figure it out together. So just in advance, don't do this early. Maybe just wait. I don't know if it was supposed to turn like this or not, but we'll figure it out. If I have to mix more again, I'll go ahead and do that. This is the ground turkey that I get from Aldi's. 93% lean and 7% fat. I usually go for this one. Here and there, I get like the 98 or 99% lean ground turkey, but I feel like this one was a little bit better for the meatballs. So I have some leftover ground turkey. It's the same, 93% lean, 7% fat. I have made some tacos, and I think I made some pretty good tacos. Maybe one day I'll show you guys the recipe for that. So I have about 1.5 pounds of ground turkey here in total. So what I'm going to start doing is mixing things together. I will not be using gloves for this. So if y'all hear me gagging in the back, I apologize. In my video for my meatloaf, I also didn't use gloves, but I just feel like they were just going to stick all to the glove and it was going to be a mess. But let's get this started. One of the things that I noticed throughout my research of how to make meatballs is that some people add 1 egg, some people don't. So per pound, from what I've seen, you add 1 egg. So I have 1.5 pounds. I'm just going to do 1 egg. Alrighty. I also seen people add 1 tablespoon of oil to it. I guess so it can roll easier or mix easier. So I am going to do that. I think I like that idea, so I am going to include that in this recipe. It didn't specify which type of oil, but I'm pretty sure you can use whatever oil. This is my frying oil for whenever I fry anything. I don't eat fried food often, so that's why it's still full. Alrighty. That is that. And if you guys have been tuned since the beginning of the video, you saw that I mixed 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs and milk. That didn't work out. Literally mush. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it here. Maybe I'll do a little bit more research on that, because it just didn't work out. And this is the one that I'm using from Aldi's. I didn't want this bigger pieces of breadcrumbs like I did for the meatloaf. I just wanted it kind of like the powder one. So we're about to add 1/2 cup. Based on everything that I've seen, they always add 1 cup per 2 pounds, and we're only doing 1.5 pounds. So I'm just going to stick with the measurements for 1 pound of ground turkey. And you can make this with ground whatever meat. If you want to do it with chicken, ground beef. I even seen somebody do ground lamb meatballs. I know those probably taste really good. I also seen somebody mix ground beef with pork. I don't eat pork or beef, so that's why we're doing turkey. Maybe one day I'll try it with the ground chicken. I always say ground chicken and I want to try it, but I don't know if the texture is going to sit right with me. Alrighty. Like I said before, I literally feel like I'm making meatloaf balls. Alright, and we have our onion, our minced garlic, our yellow bell pepper, and our fresh parsley. We're not going to use all the parsley, so I'm just going to add a little bit of it. But the onions and the bell peppers, everything else is going in there. I might change my mind and add all the parsley later, so don't mind me. Another thing that I've been seeing that not in every recipe was added is some grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to add a little bit. There's not really a measurement in none of the videos that I've seen, so I'm just going to go ahead. I said a little bit, but I'm going to include a lot. I like Parmesan cheese. Or they use mozzarella cheese. So those are the 2 cheeses that I've seen people using. So I should have grabbed a bigger bowl. And now we got all of our seasonings. Like I said, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, chicken bouillon, salt, dry parsley, and all-purpose seasoning. Alrighty. I like to mix them together before I add it, so. Okay. And this is what we gotta mix now, so let's get into that. From the videos that I've seen, I see people spray their hands with oil. So I guess it's going to make the meat roll better on their hands and their fingers, or even when they wear gloves. I also seen people to say that just use water. What I'm going to do, I know everybody says water and oil don't mix, but I'm going to spray my hands with a little bit of oil, and then I'm going to have a bowl of water right here. That way I can wet my hands as I go. But let's go ahead and mix this, and after I'm done mixing this, I'm going to have to scrub these really, really good. I'll probably even use bleach. Didn't think about it, should have taken my watch off before I started cooking or mixing, but all right. As you guys can see, I already started rolling them. I think these are a little bit too fat, but we'll see. I'm planning on making some to freeze them because I am not going to eat all of these. So I think I'm just making them too big. I kind of want them on the smaller side, but we'll see. I think these are a better size. Yep, they definitely are. I seen somebody take like an ice cream scooper and do them that way. I don't want to wash the meat of an ice cream scooper. And also this girl, she put the meat in the jar. She took a spoon and put the meat in a jar and like shook the jar. Also not washing a meaty jar. So I just prefer to get my hands dirty a little bit once in a while. I seen someone make mini meatballs and I thought that they looked so cute, but I'm like, that will take forever. But I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. I got 2 plates here because I knew I was going to make them all type of sizes. So I'll show you guys what they look like when I'm done. To my last meatball. And my fingers, the texture just feels weird on my fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break some of these down because they're just too big. I can make a whole burger patty with these. All right, these look a little bit more decent. And they're not all going to be the same size unless you're measuring it. And good luck and good for you, because I would not be doing that. But I respect the dedication to having everything, you know, look the same and very uniform. I love how you can see like all the ingredients through them. The parsley, the cheese, the peppers, the onions. And we just made our last meatball. So this is how the meatballs are looking. I don't know how many they are. I didn't count them yet. But I'm going to leave this in the refrigerator for like 2 hours and then I'm going to cook them. I want them kind of to like set, if that makes sense. I just don't want to cook them yet and then they go ahead and fall apart because I'll probably cry. But I'll show you guys how I'm cooking them and then I'll decide in the meantime how I'm going to make them. If I'm going to make them in a cheesy sauce or if I'm just going to saute them with some vegetables on the side or anything like that. But stay tuned because we're going to cook these bad boys. So this is how the meatballs look after being in the fridge for a couple hours. I got a pan and some oil. Now it's hot enough, so we're going to put them there and we're going to let them saute for like 2 minutes on each side. And then I'm going to make a sauce. I think I decided which sauce I want to make and we're going to let them cook.